Away from Nigeria, at least 134 patients are in the intensive care units, 53 of whom are on ventilatory support, 74 on supplemental oxygen, while 7 others are under observation. As of Saturday in Kenya, a total of over 2 million vaccines have been administered across the country. The uptake of the second dose among those who received their first dose is at 58.0%, with the majority being males at 55%. We have more on the situation. Joining us from Kenya is Dr. Lucky Mwange. He's a general practitioner from Nairobi. Thank you for joining us on the program. I'd like to begin with the vaccination uptake. Tell us about the drive in Kenya, especially since it saw, a surge in cases. And are there enough vaccines to go around the population?
Okay, first of all, can you hear me?
Very well.
Okay, first of all, thank you for having me on your program. As you've said, my name is Dr. Lucky Mwange. I'm a general practitioner. So regarding the vaccines, yes, there's been a very huge drive in Kenya. I must admit that this is not the time when people were skeptical about vaccines. When COVID came to Kenya at first, we were very skeptical because there was this notion that Africans wouldn't suffer from COVID, and that if we would get COVID, it would be less significant than what we were seeing in countries like France, the US, and mainly in Europe and Asian countries. But now almost everyone knows someone who has died, and this has really helped to build the vaccination sensitization, since now people have understood that COVID is real and it's a huge thing now. So we're having vaccination drives in the country. We're having it being done by the local leaders. We're having it being done by the church, the clergy members are doing it. We're having it being led by the celebrities. And basically, yes, the vaccination drive has really gone high. And unfortunately, we're still in a position where the demand of these vaccines outweighs the supply, since we received 180,000 doses of AstraZeneca from the Greek government. We also received around 410,000 doses from the UK government, and we are all okay. Those are the AstraZeneca vaccines. So we are currently waiting for Pfizer vaccines. This is actually planned by the US government, and around 1.7 million vaccines from Pfizer we're expecting from the US government. This will help to augment the vaccination drive. Yes.
Dr. Mwange, quite an expensive rollout plan there, but quickly tell us, Kenya is also known for its matatus, the minibuses that often transport more people than they have seats. I mean, are there fears that the informal network could be a weak link in the fight against the virus?
That's a very good question. Actually, Kenya is known for matatus. It's part of our culture. And for those who don't know what matatus are, these are public service vehicles that carry passengers, and yes, so they are part of the huge transport infrastructure that we have in this country. And before this directive was done last week, prior to last week, we had a reduction in the capacity that matatus will carry. So you have like a 14-seater matatu was supposed to carry only half the capacity. So we are talking about 7 people in a 14-seater matatu. So now for COVID, it's you social distance and you expect not to get this virus. So yes, there was this issue. We understand we're in a third world country, and we have a very progressive population. So there were all these challenges about what really is the greatest threat. Is it the livelihood or is it the vaccine? So, is it the virus? So there were these challenges about the economic implications of halving the capacity of matatus, and it really helped to contain the virus. But now that we're having full capacity, being done currently, it's a challenge because now when we were carrying half capacity, you would have a 1 meter social distance between you and the next person seated next to you. But now that we are back to full capacity, the person seated next to you is actually just next to your shoulder. And if this person has COVID, God forbid, if you're not masked, you'll get it. And we all know how these things happen.
Indeed.
Most people do things.
So, Dr. Mwanga, essentially, it is a challenge, and hopefully, the government will look into it, especially for matatu companies and also the protocols passengers should be taking. We appreciate your time. Thank you so much. Dr. Lucky Mwanga is a general practitioner from Nairobi. Thanks again.
Okay. Thank you so much for having me.